Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others spend their whole lives struggling without breaking through? What if I told you the answer might be hidden in the month you were born, not as superstition, but as a reflection of your soul's deepest blueprint? Carl Jung believed that nothing in our existence happens by chance. The moment of our birth carries invisible symbols that shape who we are, including how we approach work, purpose, and prosperity. Maybe your greatest gift is still asleep, waiting in the symbolic rhythm that welcomed you into this world. In this video, we'll explore how the archetype of your birth month reveals not just your inner personality, but your most natural path to earn money with meaning. This isn't about magic tricks or empty promises. It's about aligning your inner energy with what Jung called individuation, the sacred journey of becoming who you truly are. When you recognize what your soul came to express, money stops being a struggle and starts becoming a response. Because here's the truth. You must believe before you visualize, break free from what holds you back, and fill your heart with happiness to prosper with authenticity. Most people chase money as if it was something outside themselves, something to conquer, grab, or fight for. But Jung saw it differently. For him, money wasn't just a material resource. It was energy, a symbol, a mirror of your inner alignment. In fact, the way you attract or repel wealth is deeply connected to how much of your true self you've embodied. And here's the catch. Your journey toward that self may have started the day you were born, in a month that silently whispered your soul's mission. What if your birth wasn't random but precise? What if the season, the light, the winds, and the silence of that time carved out a unique code in your psyche? Jung called this the symbolic field, a collective energy that surrounds us at birth and subtly writes itself into our bones. And within this field lies the first blueprint of how you handle effort, purpose, and prosperity. It's not fortune-telling, it's soul listening. And those who learn to hear it stop chasing wealth and start drawing it. Money, in this context, becomes something more than survival. It turns into spiritual confirmation. When you're aligned with the essence of who you are, your archetype, life opens pathways that seemed invisible before. Ideas flow, connections happen, opportunities feel meant to be. And it's not magic. It's resonance. The external world responds to inner harmony. Jung would say, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The same applies to money. So we must ask, what unconscious story about work and wealth are you living today? Were you told that success requires pain? That you're not meant for abundance? That money and spirituality don't go together? These beliefs are not truths. They are just echoes of a world disconnected from the soul. But you can change that. And the first step is remembering who you were before you were told who to be. Often, the path to prosperity isn't about doing more. It's about being more of what you already are. And here's where the beauty begins. Each birth month carries an archetype that reflects your natural gifts and hidden shadows. Some months favor visionaries, others caretakers. Some hold the blueprint of silent builders, others radiant leaders. And within that symbolism lies your most organic way to generate income, not through force but through alignment. Because when you follow the rhythm of your soul, life stops resisting you and begins to respond. Those born in the first 4 months of the year carry a raw generative energy. It's as if life chose them to set things in motion, to ignite movements, to bring ideas into form. Jung often wrote about the archetype of the hero and the creator, those who bring light into chaos. January is infused with this force. People born in January tend to embody the initiator energy, focused, driven, and wired for results. They don't just dream, they execute. Their path to prosperity is leadership, action, and building what didn't exist before. But there's a shadow too. January souls often feel the crushing weight of expectation, either from others or self-imposed. They chase success even when their soul is tired. But when they align with their purpose, they become magnets for wealth. They can start businesses, lead teams, manage projects, and money follows their clarity. January teaches us, you don't earn wealth by pushing harder. You earn it by standing in your direction with unwavering focus. Their mantra, believe before you visualize. February brings a softer, more intuitive brilliance. These are the artists of the soul, creative, emotional, and quick thinking. Jung described this archetype as the mystic or the visionary. People born in February often feel like they live between worlds. They imagine solutions no one else can see. Their wealth comes from innovation, beauty, healing, and emotional intelligence. But they often struggle with consistency and structure. The lesson? When they stop doubting their flow and honor their rhythm, abundance follows, quietly, almost magically. March is the alchemist. These individuals feel deeply, transform pain into wisdom, and naturally navigate emotional complexity. They thrive in therapy, coaching, design, writing, any realm where inner worlds become visible. Prosperity for them is tied to emotional mastery. When they own their power instead of hiding in their fluctuations, they become magnetic. Jung believed in the necessity of embracing both light and shadow. March-borns understand this instinctively. Their gift is deep transformation, and transformation is valuable. April, on the other hand, grounds this energy. These are the guardians of the essential. They care for sacred things, family, purpose, integrity. They prosper when they align their work with their values. Often quiet and loyal, their strength is structure. They do well in law, organization, strategy, or stewardship of resources. Their shadow is the fear of losing control. But when they trust the flow of life and use their discipline wisely, they create wealth that lasts. April reminds us, slow strength is still strength, and it often builds empires. May-born individuals often go unnoticed at first glance. They don't seek the spotlight, but they carry something even more powerful: presence. Jung spoke of the archetype of the builder, those who shape reality through patience, structure, and inner solidity. People born in May are grounded. They believe in foundations. In a world that chases speed, they are the ones who build what lasts. Their path to money isn't flashy, it's steady. They excel in fields that require endurance: architecture, finance, agriculture, logistics, and craftsmanship. Their shadow: feeling invisible. May archetypes sometimes undervalue their gifts because they aren't as loud or dramatic. But here lies their hidden wealth. While others burn out chasing trends, May souls keep creating with depth. They attract abundance through quiet reliability. They are the roots others lean on. Their lesson: you don't need to shout to succeed. Just grow so solid that opportunity finds you where you are. Their strength reminds us, to break free from what holds you back, you must first know what holds you up. June brings a shift. These are the watchers of the invisible, the ones who feel before they speak, who see what's unspoken. Jung would call them the carriers of symbolic intelligence. They are introspective, intuitive, often mystical. Their wealth comes through subtlety: psychotherapy, research, writing, metaphysical arts, or even tech roles requiring insight beyond data. But they can fall into overthinking, isolation, or fear of exposure. Their key to abundance: owning the fact that their stillness is not weakness, it's wisdom. Because June-born souls connect with deeper rhythms, they often feel off in mainstream work models. But that's precisely where they shine. They bring depth where there's noise, reflection where there's speed. When they trust their sensitivity and create offers aligned with their vision, people pay for their clarity. Their work becomes a sanctuary. In a chaotic world, being a calm presence is monetizable. Jung emphasized individuation as listening to the self. June souls embody this by listening before the noise begins. May builds the foundation. June brings the insight. Together they remind us that money flows not just to charisma, but to depth. As we move into July and August, we meet those who turn silence into power, those who carry the fire of inner transformation and lead not with words, but with presence. July-born individuals carry a quiet kind of magic. They are emotional alchemists, deep feelers, with an almost psychic sense for what others need. Jung described this as the archetype of the healer or the inner caretaker. These souls don't lead with noise, they lead with presence. In a world addicted to performance, they offer healing, and that healing has value. They thrive as coaches, counselors, holistic practitioners, or empathetic leaders in any field. They earn when they stop hiding their depth and let their heart speak. But for many July souls, that journey is heavy. They often feel too much, care too much, and struggle to find containers strong enough for their tenderness. Their pain becomes their purpose, but only when embraced. Their path to money comes through emotional resonance. People pay for what makes them feel safe, seen, and understood. July-borns have that gift, but only when they stop apologizing for it. They must remember, to fill others you must first fill your own heart with happiness. August shifts the energy, but keeps the depth. These are the silent leaders, the ones forged by early trials. Carl Jung often wrote that the soul matures through descent. August souls know that descent firsthand. They carry the archetype of the spiritual warrior. They may have faced abandonment, pressure, or hardship early in life. But from that wound blooms leadership. They guide others not with advice but with example. Their wealth comes from courage, leading businesses, movements, or missions that transform others. Yet August can fall into the trap of control. Their shadow is pride disguised as strength. But when they surrender to their deeper purpose, not just control outcomes, they awaken an unstoppable force. August-born individuals thrive in leadership, entrepreneurship, protection roles, or transformational work. When they align their scars with service, money flows, not out of effort, but resonance. Jung taught, the one who integrates their shadow holds real power, and power, when directed wisely, creates value. Both July and August reveal something sacred. The most powerful wealth doesn't shout. It heals, it transforms, it protects. These are the months of quiet force, the strength that comes from having walked through fire and come back with light. People born in this cycle often become lighthouses for others, not because they seek attention, but because their presence is truth. When they accept that their silence is a kind of leadership, they stop shrinking to fit and begin expanding to serve. And that right there is where the flow of prosperity begins. People born in September often carry a quiet longing for balance. Jung would place them within the archetype of the harmonizer, the inner architect of peace. They see the contradictions of life with sharp clarity. Logic versus emotion, duty versus freedom, beauty versus utility. And within this complexity, they feel called to create order. In business, they're strategists, analysts, organizers, and ethical designers. Their wealth flows when they stop trying to be perfect and start trusting their deep ability to bring clarity where there's chaos. Yet this gift comes with a heavy price. September souls often feel they must earn love through perfection. They suppress their own needs to maintain peace around them, but the truth is, their greatest asset is not flawless execution, it's refined empathy. When they own that, they become consultants, mediators, advisors, and quiet leaders who transform systems from within. They teach us that sometimes healing the structure is more profitable than building a new one. October-born individuals embody the lover of the soul, not in a romantic sense, but as those who seek truth through connection. Their prosperity comes through relationships, branding, therapy, marketing, beauty, diplomacy. They understand people, not just what they say, but what they mean. Their wealth is built on intimacy, magnetism, and emotional accuracy. And when they stop fearing rejection, they shine. That's why so many find healing just by being near them. My birth month holds the map of my purpose. I accept to prosper in alignment with my soul. But they carry deep wounds too. Betrayal, overgiving, or feeling lost in the needs of others. Jung would say they project what they haven't owned yet. Their path to abundance is learning to stay whole in relationships. When they master that, their ability to create safe, meaningful experiences becomes priceless. They don't just sell, they transform. And people will always pay for transformation. Their pain becomes their business model, but only if they let love start from within. Together, September and October teach us this. Harmony and connection are not soft skills, they're superpowers. In a noisy, divided world, those who can see the invisible patterns of behavior, emotion, and need will be the ones who build bridges and cash flow. As we move forward, we enter deeper waters. The intense, transformative force of November, the month where power is earned in the shadows. November-born individuals are not here for surface-level living or earning. They are the deep divers of the human soul. Carl Jung would place them under the archetype of the transformer, the ones who face death and rebirth within themselves countless times. These people are intense, emotionally rich, and sharply intuitive. They thrive in roles that demand courage and complexity. Psychology, strategy, investigation, crisis leadership. Their path to prosperity lies in one thing: depth. They don't skim, they dig, and what they find becomes gold. This gift is powerful, but it can also isolate. November souls often feel misunderstood. They carry so much inner fire, and the world doesn't always know what to do with it. Their wealth comes when they stop trying to fit into shallow systems and start building their own. They are visionaries of the unseen. They can turn emotional truths into coaching programs, transformational content, investigative businesses, or profound leadership models. What others avoid, they transform. And people pay for transformation. But there's a shadow to integrate: control. Many November-born individuals struggle with trust, especially with money. They fear betrayal, instability, or loss. Jung believed that confronting our fear of surrender was essential for individuation. November's path to wealth is learning to trust flow, allowing others in, releasing the need to dominate every outcome. When they do, their leadership becomes magnetic, not from force, but presence. And in today's world, presence is priceless. They also hold a hidden asset: emotional truth. People can feel when a November soul has lived what they speak. That credibility cannot be manufactured, and it builds influence that leads to income. They are the ones who walk others through darkness with lanterns they forge themselves. Their legacy isn't built on popularity. It's built on impact. They don't sell information. They offer transformation, and that is the highest value currency of all. As we approach December, the journey reaches its final archetype: the master traveler, the one who sees far, who teaches by living, who reminds us that wealth is not the destination, it's the wisdom you share along the way. These individuals are often the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the now and the not yet. Their presence signals closure and vision. And just like November transforms, December expands. Together they reveal a sacred truth: When you align with your soul, even endings become openings. People born in December often feel like they carry the whole sky inside their chest. There's an expansiveness to them, a longing for meaning, for horizons beyond what the eyes can see. Carl Jung would see them as the archetype of the sage or the master traveler. These souls are visionaries, philosophers, seekers. Their prosperity isn't built through routine. It comes through teaching, storytelling, guiding. They're the ones who build wealth by helping others find purpose. Courses, coaching, content creation, spiritual entrepreneurship, these are their natural realms. But their challenge is restlessness. December-borns often feel like they belong everywhere and nowhere. They chase too many dreams at once, or struggle to follow through. Their shadow is over-promising, under-delivering. Yet when they center themselves in purpose, not just passion, they become a force of expansion. They can unify ideas, build global platforms, create systems of inspiration. Jung said that individuation meant becoming whole. December does this by turning scattered insights into solid vision. There's also something divine in their energy. They often carry a deep faith, even when life has shaken them. It's a faith that money will come, that help will arrive, that meaning will find them. This faith is their currency. It opens doors in places where logic can't. When they align their work with what they truly believe in, money becomes magnetic. Not through effort, but through resonance. They teach others to believe before they visualize, because they live that truth every day. People pay for guidance, and December souls naturally guide, not by knowing all the answers, but by asking the right questions. They shine in education, mentorship, travel, spirituality, innovation. They carry the energy of endings and beginnings. They show us that wealth isn't just about accumulation, it's about evolution. The more they trust their voice, the more value they create. Not just content, but context. Not just money, but meaning. As we step into the final stretch, the integration begins. Every archetype, every month, every symbol leads us to one deeper realization. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you unlock by becoming the person your soul already knows you are. What if wealth was never about chasing, but about remembering? Jung taught that the journey of individuation is the unfolding of a map the soul already carries. Each birth month reflects a part of that map, revealing your hidden architecture for prosperity. When you step into the energy of your archetype, the world starts responding. Clients feel it, ideas find you, opportunities flow. Not because you've become someone else, but because you've finally stopped resisting who you've always been. Each archetype carries a unique way to create and attract money. Some build, some heal, some guide, some inspire. But they all do it through alignment. Wealth is not reserved for the loudest, the fastest, or the most aggressive. It's reserved for the most authentic, the ones who stop performing and start remembering, the ones who realize that every limitation they carried was just a misalignment of energy, and that the moment they reconnect to their soul, the game changes. True prosperity has rhythm, it has intuition, it has meaning. And when your life starts moving to the beat of your archetype, things begin to align. Your work becomes sacred, your relationships support you, and even money starts to feel like a message from the divine. You stop surviving and start serving. You stop struggling and start expanding. Not because you've cracked the code, but because you've come home to yourself. To break free from what holds you back, you must return to what holds you true. And if that feels foreign, that's okay. You weren't meant to figure all of this out in one moment. Jung would say that the soul doesn't shout, it whispers. It reveals itself through symbols, patterns, emotions. And if you felt something stir within you during this journey, then you've already begun. You've already started the greatest form of wealth creation there is, remembering. And that in itself is a kind of gold that no market can measure. Because the truth is, the most powerful people in the world are not those who have the most, but those who know who they are. And when you know who you are, the way you make money transforms. It becomes a reflection, a relationship, a rhythm. Not just profit, but purpose. Not just income, but impact. Not just more, but meaningful more. And that perhaps is the kind of wealth your soul has always been waiting for. Maybe now you see it too. The month you were born into was never just a date on the calendar. It was a message, a symbol, a mirror. Jung believed that the soul speaks through images and rhythms, and your birth carries both. You came into the world carrying gifts, shadows, and a frequency that could open doors no one else could. And as you walk the path of becoming who you truly are, remember, you don't need to compete, you just need to align. Prosperity is not a prize, it's a byproduct of presence. So if this message stirred something inside you, don't stop here. There's more to uncover, more layers of your mind and soul to explore. Click on the video appearing on your screen now and keep walking this path with us. Because your inner world holds mysteries still unfolding, and your next step could reveal the exact piece you've been missing. Let your journey of individuation, healing, and meaningful prosperity continue.